got Paul Skenes pitching in Pittsburgh on Saturday against the Chicago Cubs. No more Paul Skenes against the Bisons or the Mud Hens or any of those AAA teams. And that's not to disparage the AAA. No. That's just to say it's time. And we're joined now by Jack McMullen, the voice of the Indianapolis Indians. He's on the Fan Hotline, presented by Sullivan Super Service, Pittsburgh trusted plumbing and HVAC provider for over 50 years. No person, Jack, has seen this guy throw more pitches than you at AAA. There may be people who are tied. There are people who are tied. No one has seen him throw more than you have. So broadly, before we get into the specifics, what are the Bucks getting in this guy, Jack? And thank you for coming on.
Yeah, you bet. They're getting a decent arm, I'd say. I'd say C-, maybe C. This guy is utterly ridiculous. And he would have seen the Bats this week, not the Mud Hens or the Bisons. He saw the Bisons
Louisville
twice. I know, right? But no, man, I mean, they're getting a guy that is generational. And I think that's, clear. And listen, I'm 26 years old. I think I was, 10 or 11 when Strasburg debuted. So I didn't get to be fully attentive as a baseball mind into Steven Strasburg coming up. But listen, everything I've read, I've watched that start as a whole because I'm a baseball weirdo, man. This is as good, if not better, than Steven Strasburg coming up, understandably so. He's got the hype that is equivalent or greater to that guy. It is utter domination that you should be very excited to get a taste of on Saturday and moving forward.
Jack, tell us about his demeanor through whenever he is shoving and he's going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or his demeanor whenever he gives up a home run, or his demeanor whenever he gets, somebody gets a hit on him. How does he operate throughout the innings whenever he is pitching?
Dude, he is he's unique, man. And the way he goes about his business is so ridiculously unique. And I think a lot of that has to do with military background, 2 years of the Air Force Academy, right? This guy goes about his business in a way that I've really never seen anyone go about their business before. I told a story on a podcast, Just Baseball Show, today, on today's episode, that was 11:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, and he's 3 days out of his start. I see this guy with the water jug backpack on in the corridor of the clubhouse, working on torso movement. It's ridiculous how hard this guy works. He's always thinking about how he can beat the next group of people that he's going to face. In terms of on the mound, it's fun, man. He's going to smile on the hill. And I kind of like that. It's business, but he knows when he's better than somebody. And when he does get that result, it's kind of fun to see that release of happiness and emotion. And, I've seen him throw his hands up after a 7-pitch punch out. Finally, I got this guy. And his bounce back from, hard hits, extra base hits, even a homer is impressive. And he knows that there are ebbs and flows to a season, but he's going to beat you way more often than not.
Jack McMullen, the voice of the Indianapolis Indians, joining us here on the Fan Morning Show. How does his demeanor then compare to Jared Jones? I mean, because we see Jared Jones, and you watched Jared Jones a lot last year. He does not smile on the mound. And it seems to me, from my untrained eye, Jack, that both guys ooze confidence, but they might go about it a little bit differently.
They both want to kill you in different ways. I think Jones is an angry kill. I think Skenes is oh, this is going to be fun.
Man.
But Jared Jones he's a unique cat, and you guys have seen that up close and personal. And he pitches with anger, and he pitches with the best kind of anger. Because pitching angry, that can start to spiral on you a little bit if it's not controlled properly. And Jared controls it so well, and he funnels it all towards the catcher's mitt. Skenes, it's he's the biggest guy on the field, he's the strongest guy on the field, and he's the best guy on the field. And he kind of carries that with him with each pitch. And you see a guy that plays bully ball on the hill. And the term I like to use for some of those fastballs is a bully ball fastball. And it's not just because it's 100. It's because he's 6'6", 240. And it's because it gets on you in a way that it doesn't get onto other guys. So it's different types of charisma and confidence, but you're getting two gamers in Jones and Skenes.
You just said how dominant he is. And obviously us in Pittsburgh, we know how dominant he is and why he went 1-1 and why he was doing what he did down in AAA. And we hope that he can do that with the Pittsburgh Pirates at the major league level. But if you had to pick him apart, and this is radio, so we can go all kinds of angles, right? If you had to pick him apart and say Paul Skenes could get better at this, what would it be?
Dude, what is there to get better? Like, what have we seen that he hasn't been great at? The thing that I appreciate most about watching Skenes is he was kind of given a different task start by start, and he passed those tasks with flying colors. Like, we're talking about a guy that was asked to throw way more splinkers, way more of those, like, high-speed splitters that he's throwing. Like, he's sitting about 95 with a sinker that will come off, like, the inside of his index. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, this guy, I'd say, like, you know, marrying every pitch in his arsenal is probably the thing that he wants to work on. He would show the changeup like 5 times in one start and then once in another. If he can really work that changeup in, and he essentially becomes a 5-pitch guy with 4-seam splitter. He's got 2 different sliders that he grips the same way. He just kind of alters how he throws it. Like, hey, he'll try and get outside of the ball or something like that. And then he has that changeup too. I mean, we're talking about a 5-pitch guy that sits 100 with his heater. Like, do we have that? I don't think we have that.
Jack, you're 26. You're going to be calling games at the big league level at some point, man. Like, I think you are. Not, I mean, who am I?
You could just hear it in the voice.
You can, and who the hell am I to tell this guy? But are you a little bit depressed today? Like, are you depressed that you're not going to get to watch him every 5th or 6th day?
No, man. I mean, that's what watching Brownie and Joe Block is for, right? I get to turn you guys on, and, you know, whether he's throwing during a night game when we've got it, you know, I'll be able to have that game on mute and just kind of keep tabs. The thing is, this guy just achieved a dream. And the thing about being in AAA is, like, you have to be so ridiculously happy for all the guys that are achieving their lifelong dream. Like, who am I to say, you know what, selfishly, I kind of want you to be here for a little bit. Like, that's not how that works. Everybody's goal in AAA is to get out of AAA and go to the big leagues again, or go to the big leagues.
Well, not to cut you off, Jack. Can we please have Nick Gonzalez then and Lamb? And if we could get G1 Bay up here, that might be nice.
They're working on it. I know they're putting the hours in, and they've been great to be around too. Such nice guys here. Nick and I have been exchanging movie recs too. He's a big movie guy, so he just had me watch Sisu, the same guys that did John Wick. So if you guys haven't seen
John Wick,
and you're into it, yeah, I mean, he's an action movie guys. But yeah, man, I mean, like, it's fun to watch these guys achieve what they've been working so ridiculously hard for. So no, like, not disappointed at all. It's just, hey, man, like, go do your thing. It's going to be really fun to watch.
All right, Jack, 10 years from now, whenever Crowley and I on the Fan Morning Show give you a call and you're working for a big league club and you come on with us, what are we and you going to be saying about Paul Skenes 10 years from now?
One of the best pitchers in baseball, and has been for the last 9 years. Let's give him half a year just to kind of, like, settle in, get his feet wet, whatever. I'm not sure about pitch count when he gets up there. Like, hey, is he still going to be throwing 65 pitches in August? I've got no idea how that's going to work, but we're talking about a guy that has multiple all-star appearances and, you know, already has his bag, whether it came, you know, in an arbitration extension or in free agency. We're talking about one of the best arms in the game. It's really hard to imagine a world if he stays healthy. And obviously, like, that is the huge issue in baseball right now. But if he stays healthy for that 10-year stretch, it's hard to imagine a world where we're not talking about a guy that is, you know, near the top or at the top of the game.
Jack, appreciate your time, man. Indy's a great town, by the way. I love Indy. I love the Slippery Noodle. You ever been to the Slippery Noodle?
Dude, that's like a block and a half from where I am. I got to make sure I call an Uber, though, a little bit late night. It gets a little dicey around there. I will say that. But you know what? You guys got steak on a stone. We've got shrimp cocktail. I think we're winning.
Jack, you are the man. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you in 10 years.
Love it. See you guys.
Take care. Jack McMullen, the voice of the Indianapolis Indians. If I knew that was a sketchy part of town, I don't think I would go to Slippery Noodle.
Slippery Noodle? Is that
it's a blues bar. I could understand your confusion there.
Blues bar.
Yeah.
Shrimp cocktail, huh?
Actually, funny story. It popped up on one of my receipts one day. You know, my wife's doing the financing, and we're sitting down. She goes, Slippery noodle in Indianapolis. What noodle's getting slippery?
Right.
It's just a restaurant. It's a blues bar. It's an awesome place.
Yeah, it's probably speakeasy. It looks like a restaurant when you walk in. You go through a little freezer door, and it's a whole strip club.
No, they always got.
Don't act like strip joint.
No, that's the. Never mind. I'm growing up.
Oh,
There was a joke. I did not make it, and I want the world to know I am growing.